Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. This is Kristen Darcy. I'm so excited just for a little bit of time with just you and me. I'm so grateful for all the presentations so far and all the generosity of all the experts that have come on before me and shared, how you can move through this time. And I would just like to take this moment and really discuss this Divorcing with Grace product that I came up with, and the link is underneath me, and that's my goodie to you for participating in the Divorcing Intact Summit. So let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about, I'm not sure if you heard, but why I titled this summit Divorcing Intact. It was basically because when I was going through my very high conflict divorce, every time there was an issue or a crisis, one of the people that were working within our divorce would say to me, well, if you were intact, blah, blah, blah. And it just struck me that it was so similar to the time when I was going through infertility, because, they would refer back to, well, you're infertile, or, you have infertility. And it just struck me to the point that I kept reminding myself and using that word intact as a mantra. Because regardless of what our outside circumstances are, and some of our outside circumstances are shocking and life-changing and overwhelming and can bring you to your knees, and you can experience that dark night of the soul. And regardless of what is happening outside, you are always whole. And what ends up happening for me personally, and for the brave women that I have the opportunity of coaching, is that under pressure, under those circumstances, you forget how perfect you are in a spiritual sense, and your maybe overwhelming feelings of self-worth, or worthiness, start taking hold, and you start to believe that you are that, but you're not. I'll tell you, during my divorce, during finding out and making the decision to divorce, right in this middle of this high conflict custody battle, divorce, financial infidelity, that's a word that coming up, the Money Queen is going to be talking about, which I had never heard before. My mom was diagnosed with cancer, and it was the worst cancer ever. And if you just heard Tamara Green, my bestie, before my presentation, she and I talked about this. And so within this time period of, the tsunami that changed my family, my mother was actually with my children, and she didn't feel well. And then we found out that she had pancreatic cancer, and that was in September. In December, she passed. And it was 3 months, and it happened so quickly. And to give you a little insight into my situation with my tsunami divorce, my then ex-husband, placed a contempt on me and said I impeded his parenting time during, the time I was burying my mom. And I had to rely on this practice. Tamara talked about the meditation and the gratitude, and the practice that I keep going back to as my foundation is this practice of divorcing with grace. And it's pretty broadly spoken about now, but way back when I was having my infertility, or my fertility challenges, like I like to call them, because I was not infertile. We're always fertile in our creations. It was a work in progress. I was trying to figure out what would work for me. And basically it is really being clear about your goals or your dreams, and then creating your goals list, every day having a practice of gratitude, and Tamara and I spoke about that, which is, simply listing what you're grateful for, 10 things, setting an intention every day, and then one nurturing item. And I really encourage people to do that for 21 days, and it becomes who you are. Now, I've been, on my soapbox talking about this system and, tweaking it a little bit for women going through divorce, because that is such a life-altering crisis that you're experiencing. But once again, it's right underneath, and you can click and you can download, and it's such a good goodie. So the first thing would really be clear about setting and writing down 10 things that you're grateful for. And, I leave this and come back to it, and leave it and come back to it. But it is really what Tamara said just a few minutes ago, the gateway that opens up all possibilities. And you simply, are going to use that pocket companion if you choose. It's a download. And I was thinking about making an app of this, but it's really important for you to engage both sides of your brain. We've talked before, Tristan, from when she was talking about the BIF response, we talked about the amygdala. Oh my God, I can't even say it. Magnella. Oh my God, I can't say it. I'm gonna have Shannon tweet it out. It's the part of your brain that's fight or flight. And so by simply taking pen to paper, you're connecting that. You're using that bridge to connect both sides of your brain. And so you write down 10 things that you're grateful for. And then in the morning, you might want to have that your practice, which becomes your meditative routine. And Mark Sklar is going to talk about that importance next. He's coming up, wonderful Mark Sklar. So please stay tuned and listen to him. And simply jot down 10 things that you're grateful for. Then set your intention for the day. And I just talked with Tamara about how my little sparkly pink sticker off of my vision board kept falling, and it is a fabulous day. And some days you don't feel like it's a fabulous day. Some days, especially, the tail end of my divorce, and then watching my mother battle pancreatic cancer, there wasn't a lot of high points during that time, but there was always that speck to be grateful for, that she moved through a chemotherapy treatment, and she did the best she could. And that was my gratitude, but it was also for us to move through that time with grace and ease. And grace is so important. There's a divine energy of grace and mercy. There's a divine energy, a different energy of grace and mercy, but you need those. And you can call that in. I actually love the feeling wheel, and that's going to be a whole different conversation, but you can Google feeling wheel, and I believe it's Doris Dixon. She did this feeling wheel, and what you can do is you can pick the feeling that you're feeling right at the moment. I'm going to see, I have it right here because I keep it handy. And it's this beautiful feeling wheel. And in the middle, it boils all our emotional triggers, all our emotions: sad, mad, sacred, scared, joyful, powerful, or peaceful. It boils them all down to that core. And believe me, if you're in a high conflict divorce, or if, as Tamara and I talked about, someone who you're loving is dealing with a disease and part of this trauma, you can look, because at that time I was so overwhelmed. I didn't know what my feeling was. And then you can find it on this feeling chart. And I think, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and tweet it out too, and put the picture out. And then look across from what you can call in. And simply giving your feelings a name is so powerful, and a healing release. So let's go back. So you're going to do your gratitude list for the next 21 days. You're going to set your intention. And maybe your intention is as simple as I know that I will be open to all possibilities. And Deborah Clements talked about this at the beginning of the week. And if you can go back when we replay all the videos, you can listen to her. And maybe you don't feel like you're open to possibilities right now, but if you state, I will be open to, or I will be open to blank, that's an intention. And lastly, it's a nurturing item. Each and every day, you have to practice self-care, especially when you're under such trauma, especially when you're experiencing such emotional stress. Because not only are you a caregiver for yourself, but you're also a caregiver if you have children involved in the situation. And it can be something easy, like Tamara and I talked about, a walk, and that's what it was for me. Each day I walk. But I did something that I hadn't done since I was an adolescent, which was I went back to dancing. And it was a profound healing experience. I was with these amazing women, and for 2 years we danced. And we did something that scared us. We were part of the recital. And so what is that one thing that you can carve time out for yourself? And the other thing I did is every week I went and sat for an hour within the chapel at our church. And I was brought up very Catholic, and that is the foundation of my faith, and I relied on that moving through. But it was also just an hour I carved out for myself that I would go sit in church. It wasn't for anybody else but for me to be in quiet reflection. And so one nurturing item a day. And it's so amazing when I get the privilege of working with women and what they come up with, and how they're nurtured. And one other thing I do, and I love Trader Joe's flowers, and each week for groceries, I don't drink a lot. I don't go out very much, but I do buy a $3.99 or $1.69 flowers from Trader Joe's, and that's my nurturing item, and I put them on my nightstand. And so when we're talking about nurturing yourself, it's really finding that part that is traumatized and loving that part so that you are intact, which you are, so that it comes back in and you're whole. So the question for your goals list, and you might be thinking, I don't have any goals. My goal is just to really get out of bed in the morning and make it through my day. And believe me, I was there, especially if you're a single working mother, going through a divorce and dealing with a high conflict personality, and making sure your children have psychological safety and a foundation and a safe, nurturing place. That's a lot right on your right to start the day. But when you start thinking in the forward of where you're going, that's the gratitude opens up the gate for you for the possibilities to be in line. And then if you call in patience, because right now if you're in knee deep within this divorce, I know probably you're feeling like you just want to be done and you want to be on the other side, but you really have to call in patience during this time too, and let this process work for you. Let this process clear what needs to be removed from you and establish you in a safe place moving forward. So what you can do is simply sit down for a minute and ask yourself these two questions to begin with. I feel what, and I need what, because needs have to be met. Those are the driver for everyone. And then follow that up with, if I had unlimited time, talent, support from my family and friends and money, here's a list of things I will do in the next year. And then you simply do a brain dump and let everything come out and onto the piece of paper. And then look that over and pick the top 3 for the next year. And write them down on a piece of paper and in your Pocket Companion, because you'll be downloading a Pocket Companion. And then let them be. You can put them someplace. I'm a queen of sticky notes. And as I'm sitting here with you, there's all these sticky notes all over my computer. If you want, you can write that on a sticky note and put it on your computer. And just be willing to receive what's coming your way. And so that is such a powerful 1, 2, 3 punch. Your daily intention, your daily nurturing item, and your gratitude list. I've been a student of this now since I was trying to create my family, and my son is turning 18. And so, it's been almost over 2 decades that I've been a student of this and tweaking this to make it personal. And then if you add in a meditation that Tamara talked about, it is the jet fuel that you'll need to get to the other side of this very, very trying time. So I am so grateful for everyone who's opting in right now as I'm speaking and tweeting questions or asking questions with an email. You can contact me directly at Kristen@KristenDarcy.com, and we'll be sending out emails each day and then following up with some more supportive information. Coming up next right away is Mark Sklar, and he is amazing. He's the fertility expert, and he's going to talk about stress in your body and some things that you can be doing. And then tomorrow, it's all about money, and it's so powerful. Bonnie Kirshner will be with us, and she's the author of Who Can You Trust with Your Money, and followed up by Carrie Carbononi, and she is the money queen. Carbonaro. There you go. It's like the pasta. And then Friday is a very, very powerful day with Dr. John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus author. And he has such amazing supplements and insight into how you can move forward. And we close this powerful week with Dr. Diana Kirshner. And she is the loving expert. She is the loving mentor. She is just a dynamo, a fairy godmother, if you would, to help you when you want to move forward into another relationship. So thank you so much. And I just want to take a moment and thank my team, who are invisible to you, but are so, so important to me, and say thank you so much to all of you, making this week so seamless and such a healing event. And you can tweet hashtag Divorcing Intact, or once again, reach out to me directly, Kristen@KristenDarcy.com. And don't forget to get your goodie. Hit the link right under me right now, and you get the download. So thank you so much, and I wish you peace and healing and a bright, beautiful future. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.